Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with the free pick in the Temple versus Ole Miss college basketball matchup on Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. I do tons of free picks every day, but if you're looking for the games I'm betting, the ones I like the best, those are over at the website under the Premium Picks tab. Just use the discount code PICK for 15% off. We also have the Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. So if you make big bets, text the number you see on the screen because they're not available on the website. So you got to text. But let's get to this one. We've got Temple taking on Ole Miss, and this is not one of those tournament games. This game is at Temple, and just a little bit different look. Of course, the Temple Owls, once upon a time, were one of the top teams in the land. Not so much in recent years. Of course, the old John Chaney days is what I'm referring to. But meanwhile, when we look at Ole Miss, this is a team that's been borderline, SEC team, borderline middle of the pack, I think is what you want to call it. It's like they're not quite the middle of the pack, and they're not quite, they're kind of the lower middle of the pack, right? They just have not been able to get it done against the teams in their conference. So it makes these games just even a little bit more important. When we look at Ole Miss so far this season, it was wins over Sam Houston, Detroit, Eastern Washington, and Alcorn State. They haven't covered the spread in any of those games so far. Meanwhile, on the other side of it, Temple, it is wins over Maryland, Eastern Shore, Navy, and Drexel, and then an outright loss to Columbia as a 12.5-point favorite. Oh man, this is going to be trying times for both these programs, I believe, once again this season. When we look at the tail of the tape, the Temple offense, certainly nothing to write home about when it comes to interior scoring. In fact, 342nd in field goal percentage. That is one of the worst in the nation. So while Ole Miss certainly isn't a juggernaut, defensively, it certainly makes their stats look a lot better when you compare them up with Temple's offense. And I think that's, a big part of the problem here for the Owls. The Owls can shoot the three, but they almost exclusively shoot the three. And that is what makes them, kind of like a one-dimensional team. They also are super efficient shooting their free throws, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the nation. So in tight games like you can get into these tournaments, that certainly can factor. The Temple defense, though, I do believe is far and away better than this Ole Miss offense, which once again, I think leaves a lot to be desired. They haven't been able to put up any kind of numbers this season, and as we mentioned, they haven't really played against any type of competition either. So it's not like, they played, Michigan State, Duke, and Kentucky or something. They've played pretty much, below average, bottom tier competition. I just think in this sort of game, with Temple being at home, I could see it being one of those games. We see these Philly teams do it all the time, and I hate to use that kind of as my main reasoning, and it's not my main reasoning. My main reasoning is the Temple defense is just better. I'm going to take Temple, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, check out our betting tools at Sports Chat Place. They're going to tell you how often, historically, all of the bets on the board have come in. They're going to compare them up with today's odds, and this way will list you and point you to the most favorable bets on the board.